Hey everybody. So I was just thinking about what I posted earlier today about n- the UN Security Council and how it's 15 members on the board and 10 transitioning members every 2 years and then the 5 permanent members. I remember reading something about this. I don't know if it was a different council, but it was about United Nations and section in chapter 13 nations or something like that, and how it was 13 on the committee, 13, 3 permanent members, and then 10 transitioning members. So, in saying that, I really am not too sold on the fact that I'm really not too sold on the fact that the United States would be on the uh, United Nations Council with the former Soviet Union or Russia and China. Now, China is considered was we get our goods and services from China. A lot of our good are mostly our food and clothing, right? Our appliances. I mean, almost everything comes from China. Our goods mostly. Services we've outsourced to other. As of 2000, we had started outsourcing to other countries like India for customer service over the phone, which is probably they were planning to have an obsolete uh, job, like tellers was supposed to be obsolete as of 2044, according to Texas, some type of Forbes job thing. And then customer service jobs are supposed to be obsolete as of 2030, which is what's the new service industry. Sorry. Well, when it was the new service industry, anyway, in the early when the 80s and 90s, and so in saying that, with artificial intelligence, they were gonna delete or make these jobs obsolete. You have virtual tellers and bankers that you would talk to over the phone or walk up to a computer in the side of a branch, and they have it at some banks already, where you just walk in and you get a digital AI teller or a teller that's working from a different location if you need them. But the actual procedures, or it's like a smart ATM, and you do transactions at the teller window of or the computer. I think Bank of America had some, and Credit One, I think. That was the Black Bank. I think they have those too. So, in saying that, I was trying to make a point, but I lost it for a minute there. In saying that, Lord help me, in saying that they're making these jobs obsolete with artificial intelligence, and um, the apps are being made from our brains, for my brain, my family's brain. Artificial intelligence, the Truth app, they were making apps out of my brain. And my brain's power and how my brain works. And I'm sorry, my phone is all over the place. And not, and it's that too, the beautiful app, making people look extra beautiful. You don't need have to. I mean, the people I see, I told I want to be around anyway as beautiful people, but I haven't been around too many of them. And the people I love, because in the place I'm in, I kind of feel trapped. Well, I know I've been kidnapped, but I feel trapped around people who want me dead. And not just to God. So, when I say a beautiful person, I'm thinking of someone who has the love of God. And I have to stop telling people they're beautiful, I guess, not love them, I guess. I mean, to me, I don't want to stop saying that, because if I stop saying I love you and that you're beautiful, or um and if I feel love from you too, I can't. I just, it's almost nearly impossible for me to stop saying it. And I feel like people need to know. Like, you're a beautiful person. When you're beautiful, you feel with the love of God, you have the Holy Spirit. Not just the simple fact that you look good. Your soul, your spirit, your essence, who you are. That's what I love about people. Some of these people have lost that, and I can see that. And some of these people have, if they're still alive and they're not using their souls to hurt and murder and rape people, they're scared. Some of them, like I went to a pantry. There was a lot of beautiful people in there, and I didn't tell them, but I didn't tell them, but not none of them, but the food was from this place gets food from their suppliers. But the people were nice. Some of them, not the people waiting for the actual pantry services. I think that was a party of setup, just to put real bugs in my head. Thank you all for the food. And to put I made it too soft. To put real bugs in my head. And which they did. When I got back, I washed my hair and there was bugs in the bottom of the shower. But and I got some food. I was happy because I was able to eat. But then I started to notice those little sins, little parasites from the fish. So the demons walked through, the one next door. Um, spit, but I'm getting I digress. What I was getting at is about the National Security Council. How when I read it before it was 13, now it's 15, and I seriously doubt how China and Russia would be on the National United Security Council with the United States and get anything done. That's the point I was making, especially with Russia actually invading the Ukraine and having a ongoing war with them. Ongoing, meaning since the war started, it hasn't stopped. When I think of wars, what do people have wars for anyway? It's not about territory that much anymore. I don't think there's any area on earth that hasn't been searched by man. So what are wars? What's the point of an actual war other than fighting for freedom? Fighting for freedom of bodies and souls. So souls are not how can I say souls are not used for energy or for murder. People are not murdered. They've been killing God's children for. The enemy has been killing God's children for centuries. And like I said, it's like the Sith Lord manipulating good and evil, acting like he's neutral. How can you be neutral? That means you're lukewarm, then you get spit from God's mouth. There's no place for you in his kingdom. Either you're cold or you're hot. That's not manipulating. That's true. I just read that in Revelations earlier today. I'm not trying to be manipulating, but either you're cold or you're hot. And if you're the Sith Lord, how can you be either? You want to manipulate the outcome so it fits your mindset or design of how you think. I mean, like history. History is wrote by the victors. So if you come in agreement, so let's say the Civil War. Let's say if this was in effect during the Civil War, which I doubt it was, because we talked about William Wallace and or that whole situation with it was being based on a true story about how the movie The Patriot was a stem from another movie about a British colonial about Braveheart. But I think that was all probably made up too, just to make me look like I was right, to make people think I'm mentally ill. You know, The Patriot was supposedly based on a true story about a man who lost his wife and trying to raise I don't know, I remember how many kids he had, probably 6, falling in love with another woman and losing his oldest son to the Revolutionary War, a war for freedom against Britain. I don't know. I googled it. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to. I googled it, and what I saw was they can do reenactments just like they changed Article 7's laws from last night to this morning in a blink of an eye. And they didn't need Mel Gibson to how can I say, they would not have needed Mel Gibson to do a reenactment in a clone. He's the actor. They have his voice and his likeness on paper written out as, belonging to them. He knows what this is. He's been through it himself. I've seen it. I've seen it. His daughter video recorded him sitting in the tub of alcohol because he wasn't able to get clean because they had been dropping bugs on him. The evil witches hired to torment him and warlocks hired to torment him. Probably raping him like they've been raping me and Chadwick and the rest of our family, me and Derek's family. Poured alcohol on his head trying to get that soul out of his body. The demonic soul. And you can tell when I told you can tell. You look in the eyes and you don't see any color. They're not just watching. The souls are probably in your mind's eye waiting to attack you. I just had some bugs put on my back. It's one soul that constantly rapes me, the one y'all saw the other night when I was laying in the bed. And he constantly puts semen on me. Constantly ejaculates on me. Like when I was at that hotel. And it was, God revealed to me whose ideal it was to have that semen ejaculated on my face after they had my body raped like that. And whose idea to have my butt and mouth raped, and whose idea to have the demon ejaculate on my face. Like I said, I didn't lie. God revealed that to me when I was walking down a street in Alabama, supposedly Alabama, singing and worshiping the Lord really loud. So it's past midnight in a residential area. And I'm walking down the street, worshiping and singing and praising the Lord. Or I'm at a shopping strip where it's a train that comes every 5 minutes. And there's a Starbucks, a Sonics, and maybe some other little small shops, some ice cream shops, with chairs outside. Singing out my heart to God to come help me. Trying to make me look like I'm mentally ill for a tyrant, a dictator, who we have treaties and agreements with they have to follow. This is not just about the United States. The United States is the enemy is being funded by other countries who want us to fail, by other countries who want us to succumb to the mindset of the enemy. The Purge game, the game where they were shocking my heart when I was driving down 45 freeway in Texas. They were literally shocking my heart to death. It was it's supposed to be a Chinese game, or not Chinese, but a game from Asia. An actual game for Asia where they was killing people. But they were both signing up for it. The same system that I've been in. The same system that I have been in from the beginning. This is after they let me out the hospital. I love laid it out, the agreement, Abilify 20. Sus came to me in my mind's eye and said they want you on Seroquel 200. And I said no. She came back maybe another day or two and said they want you on Seroquel 400. And I thought about it. But Abilify was working, so I didn't understand why I had to go with a Seroquel. They said they can't hurt me on Abilify, so they start messing with the medicine. I didn't have Seroquel. I had Keppra 850. The first night I took a half a pill at that. and passed out like I was about to die. Woke up, couldn't stand up, mouth all crooked. Looked like I had a stroke that night, which I've had before. I've done Bible studies with Lisp, and they were saying an experiment to disclose, or how not disclose, but experiment to show the world how the mind's eye stick work that I never signed up for. Like I said, the only two experiments I had was to monitor HPV. And I didn't have it anymore, so they didn't need to monitor me anymore. And the lady said if I went out, just say out. You want out. I said that in Mississippi. I want out. I'm saying it now. I want out. That's all lies. All lies. Out of the experiment. They put me in prison. And when they started to have me physically raped, if they had left me alone and left me in there, I probably would have been all right. Just come bring me, some bologna sandwiches without the parasites in the bologna, some cookies and enough for 3 or 4 a day. They give you 2 bologna sandwiches, a pack of cookies, and some pretzels, and a sugar packet, which was meth. It was supposed to be like a, excuse me, it was supposed to be like a Kool-Aid pack that you got to pour into your water, but I never got water. So I was drinking water out of the faucet with one of the plastic bags that the bologna sandwiches came in. And they had them filled with parasites, the meat. I remember one time I even left out of the cell and went into the hallway and saw what the bologna looks like. Guess what, y'all? The bologna was normal. They were putting the parasites in the bologna at the prison. So, um, like I said, it's all been like staged to set up, but I've been making people think this is fake. And the sad part about it is my family knows it's real. That's why I can't be around them and make them not well and keep trying to kill them. And then they were putting me in the hospital and put me in, I guess, prison again if I go around them. I don't know. Come up with some lies or something. In the fake world, in the simulator, supposed to be for movies only, where they're practicing the purge of eliminating the children of God. It's not the Hunger Games yet. I guess that would happen when I guess martial law is affected, and these people walk in and out of this world. Drive, walk, bus. If I'm in Detroit, where's Strictly Biblical at? Grand River and what, West Side of Drive, Grand River, and I'm gonna go by there. Grand River. Now I'm not gonna go by there. Forgive me. I've been riding down Grand River from downtown more than once, and I have not seen Strictly Biblical not once. And Detroit is a lot bigger than this place is too. And I voted absentee ballot. Thank God. So my hopefully when it gets mailed out, it get to the right place. I voted. But they actually had voting booths here. Like I said, it's people who actually live here. Homes and neighborhoods, cars, jobs, real jobs. So the parallel universe is where they walk through the portal. 1 minute you're in Detroit. I've experienced it. I have. 1 minute you're in Detroit, and you keep walking, and then you're back here with these demons. Like I said, not all are demons, but the ones that are so disgusting and defiling they don't deserve to live. They don't. Anybody who can drop real bucks. When I wash my hair and it feels like it's poop in my scalp, and I use my hair scrubber, and when I take it out, it's brown specks at the edge of my hair scrubber because it's poop on my scalp and in my head. I have a rash around my diaphragm now under my stomach. The same type of rash from a dirty soul holding on to me, making me sick. A man was raping my belly button. Not a man, a demon. Was raping my belly button and ejaculating semen, nasty semen into it and making me sick when I was in that shelter. These are all things that I've experienced as a token, an NFT, which is short for NAFTA. That's for trade agreements. So I can't stop it and bring it back to look up what it means. National NFT. So that was supposed to be like the new game system they have where you can live in the world, a different type of world. The NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So this is the game. I'm cursing my food. This is the game. This is the game, the NFT game. This is what they're using. Non-fungible token clones. They don't tell you it's clones though. They had me reading I was reading a whole bunch of stuff last night. After searching, trying to find out more evidence on clones. And they're trying to say clones are illegal in the United States. How are clones illegal in the United States when the FDA already showed us that clones are legal if you want one? It's not mandatory. They've made it mandatory for the whole world. And if you're a child of God, you have one of those clones that without a thyroid. They have stopped. They have stopped growing the clones, or they cutting them out, the thyroid, removing them, and you have the bug in the front of your head instead of the mind's eye stick because they're supposed to be losing power of CERN. The old people who ran it supposed to have lost the power to control CERN. They're still trying to maintain power. They're still trying to stage a coup to take over the United States with this NFT world. The NAFTA. I think it's a national agreement for maybe trade, a national affiliation for trade agreements. NAFTA, tariffs. I looked it up. And tariffs, usually like the outsourcing in 2000 after Bush Jr. became president, I believe. He outsourced all of the manufacturing companies to other countries like Mexico and overseas. The manufacturers stopped producing steel, and the automotive industry started to go down because it was gone. There were no automotive jobs in 2000 to go get when I graduated high school. I was pregnant anyway, but the only option was to get a job, a low paying job, because the automotive industry started off at high pay. Get a low paying job or go to college with a baby or go to the military without your baby until you get stable. And as my cousin, she was an E1 when she started and no baby. Not saying there's something wrong with that, but she stayed in the barracks because she said she couldn't afford to live off base. Probably still safer that way too, to be in the barracks with the women, make friends. She always easily made friends. I wanted to go to the Navy, but I had Z and I didn't want to leave her. I had Z and I didn't want to leave her. Not one day. I think I was in love with her from the day I saw her. And it was something on my heart then. Something living in my mind's eye and draining me of love and killing me. Because I didn't want to love him no more. And watch what you say to these demons. They use what you say and how you think to curse you. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. They don't have no love. Be very, very careful what you say, what you come in agreement with. Because it's more than just chalk and electricity in the air now. Especially if they're have some type of, how can I say it, drug problem. They doing ecstasy or meth, which opens up your mind's eye are open already now because of the noise in the air. That freeway sound on a regular street, like you're riding on the freeway, but it's on a regular street. And our mind's eyes are open so we can see things and feel things and drop bugs on people, especially if we've been introduced to ecstasy and meth and what they call it, kush, and other drugs that open your mind even more. They give you a special ability, and with your heart being not corrupted but tainted, and your mind being your heart is broken if you're on drugs. You're looking for a way to ease the pain. There's no sympathy in that though, because we all have pain. We all have sorrow. We all go through trials and tribulations. And none of it's from God. So I'm not going to blame God for my situation. So I have no sympathy for you. None. No love for a rapist and murderer. And murderer and rapist in that order. I forgive the people who have murdered me and stopped trying to kill me. I even forgive the people who've raped me and stopped. I have. I forgive you. But the ones who keep raping me, trying to act like it's love, or they lost their soul and their mind. The curses they put on me and my family have come off of us and went back on them. You do unto others as you have done unto yourself. You reap what you sow. You sow discord. You sow curses. You sow mental and physical illness on people. It's going to come back on you. Plain and simple. It's laws to this thing. My sis told me that it's laws to this. You have to be very careful about what you do in this thing, thinking you're getting away with murder and you're not. Even if you don't experience what I experienced right away, and if you've done those things to me, you reap what you sow. You do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. That's the first rule. The law is you reap what you sow. So if you do unto others as you have done unto yourself, as you would want somebody to do to you, as you would want to be treated, as you would want to be loved, as you would want to be talked to, then you reap what you sow. You sow love, you receive love. You sow discord, you receive discord. You sow murder, you receive murder. How you kill is how you will be killed. Repentance, though, is real. How you kill is how you will be killed. That's word, that's scripture, that's law, revelations. How you kill is how you will be killed. The whole world came in agreement with my murder by voting, not the whole world, but mostly everybody who know what this thing is. A large majority. Because this spiritual, how can I say, spiritual name of Jesus, the spiritual applications of Jesus, not the actual, Jesus, the Christ, wanted me dead. Wanted me dead and was scaring everybody. My mother, my dad, my sisters, my brother. All of them have NDAs. Had my kids thinking I wasn't supposed to live and didn't even tell me. And then asking me who do I want my kids to live with. What kind of sense does that make? Why would I want my kids to live with anybody if I'm supposed to die? If I don't know I'm supposed to die, forgive me. If I don't know I'm not supposed to live through the night, if I don't know that I have some type of terminal illness and not supposed to live, why would I want my kids to go live with anybody else? They never lived with them before. I had them from the day they was born. Nobody told me I was supposed to die. If anything, I would have told both of them to keep them together and let them choose. And it wouldn't have been Andrea. It would not have been Andrea. First of all, Andrea was a newlywed. I didn't know her husband that well. And secondly, she was 67, 68. It's time for her to live her best life. She helped me raise them when they were younger. She did the best she could with the hand she was given. Billy, he raised his kids and they was with them. Z is almost the same age as she's the same age as my nieces and nephews. My nieces. They're all grown. But we all hung out together when we stayed in Detroit. They grew up together. And then Chris is the same age as my great nieces. Around that age, my great niece and nephew. We all work together as a family. So why? Oh, forgive me. Why would I want Billy to raise Chris and Z unless Sherry couldn't do it? Because I didn't know Derek loved me at the time. Well, when Sherry told me I did, but in the beginning, no, I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't know he wanted me, so I didn't know we would be a family. I loved him, and I was telling everybody. I was telling this Z and Chris. I didn't tell Andrea because I don't talk to her about things like that, especially until I know if they're official. She has a lot of negative words to say about things like that, so I try not to introduce her to anybody I know or let her know who I'm with. I've never really been with anybody anyway, officially. So, like I said, in that hotel when they had me raped and murdered that last night and in it the world as we know it, they had to sacrifice my kids to bring me back. And replace their clones. It's for their personal system. For the NFT world. Texas is an NFT state, I guess. Houston. We have a problem. Do people live there know that? Were they not allowing people to leave Texas? At one point in time? Like I said, unless they had a round trip ticket. All this took place in Plano, and it was supposed to be a trial by fire. It was was it Smyrna or was it Pergamum? 10 days and 10 days. That was after. I know where you live is where Satan's throne is. Satan's throne. It was supposed to be 10 days, and he's going to throw you because of your pureness, poor and poverty, but you're rich. I was rich in love, and they were using clues from Bible study. And when I would go to Bible study, the women would make me sick. They were living in my brain and thinking evil thoughts of me. The actual women who were wagering for Bitcoin, the Bible study members on Zoom. And they can look you in your eye and blink at you and live off your brain. I mean, obviously, everybody knows what this is. I'm just telling it outright now, hopefully, to free some people. For me, personally, and the rest of my family, whosoever is willing. So, in saying that, chest hurt. In saying that, uh, about the Bible study, the trial by fire, that was all a hoax too. Because I never told anybody I wanted to be a prophet. I said it in my bedroom after I was divorced from Derek again, spiritually. And because they had already done the Nazarene wedding on me on Zoom, on live, on in front of everybody. And they were already watching my mind's eye, everybody in Zoom, plus the whole world. They tried to keep it contained from me. It was my mind's eye. Why couldn't I know what it was about? And they kept saying, if you watch it, you will want to die. What does that even mean? If you watch your own mind's eye, you want to die, but because it's sick, it's full of bugs, it's full of mucus and fleas. What is it? What's in the mind's eye that makes it say, I've seen it before. Chatter, 2004. Bush Jr. on the TV. And then, watching movies, how they can come, the astral project through the screens, the computer screens and the TV screens. How I thought I was in love with Marlon Wayans when I first was mentally ill. Considered mentally ill, not actual mentally ill. Because actors and actresses that were famous, people wanted to be with. So they would make them uh, act like they were in love and use the mind's eye to make people love them and fall in love and make them mentally ill. Knowing you've never met this person, you may never see them a day in your life because you think they're so handsome, funny, and you want love so bad that you're living in your own brain. They attacked my brain so hard. I think it was more than just CERN. The first time I was considered mentally ill. And it wasn't just Marlon. He didn't even attack my brain in a sense where he was cursing me. He was using I guess a computer to talk to me through the uh through the actual mics in my head and through my ears. Through my ears and my third eye, or my mind's eye, my third eye was open. So I was seeing things. I was seeing him by a poolside, and he was asking me, do I love his body? And I thought I was really in love with Marlon Wayans. It felt real, but I never met him physically a day in my life, you know. And looking back, I don't even know why I fell for that. Because I was even saying, oh my God, I'm mentally ill. That was even before that. I just didn't have anybody to trust I could talk to. I had my dad, but it was me, him, and Billy in the house and Z. But I didn't know what to say to him. I've never experienced this before. Andrea says she knew, but it comes from negative thinking and words. Because my brain in 2004, what it was being used for, they had to make me mentally ill. And it probably wasn't just my brain, it was probably Derek's brain too. Probably way before that, probably from high school, probably before that, probably from birth. What they were using children of God's brains for, and children who have, and people who have soulmates. Because, like I said, I don't think Protestants believe in soulmates. Not too many. I have not met any church I've been to where they ever talked about soulmates, except for one time Pastor Moss talked about it. He just said, I even have a soulmate. That's all I remember him saying. I think I might have been asleep in like the fourth or fifth row from the front, but they probably put me to sleep because he wanted to talk about soulmates, and he was talking about saving yourself to marriage and what the music could get you, babies. The music that the young people was listening to, the sexual, that's when it was really sexual. Music went from gangster rap or hip hop to fun and partying to over sexualizing everything. And that was the early 2000s. Everybody wanted to make love. Very, very sexual. So in saying that, I started to change and I started to listen to gospel hip hop and gospel music. I forgot who I was listening to at the time. It was gospel rap, hip hop, but I don't remember who it was. But I used to blast it. I would listen to. I didn't listen to Lauren that much. I didn't listen to Lauren Hill's second album that much. I listened to the first one all the time, but the second one I didn't understand because I wasn't reading Revelations. If you've been watching this, you would know I didn't start to understand that till I joined the Bible study. I mean, a year before I joined the Bible study, actually, when I started to get spiritually attacked again at I Encounter. I was listening to it a year before I joined Bible study, and I started to have a little bit of understanding more and more. God has started revealing to me in thoughts and visions of what the songs meant and what it was really about. And they were taking it, CERN was taking it from me. And then when I got to Bible study, the women in the Bible study CERN already had a plan to. They probably have been uploading my encounters already on the site, and then the clones with the porn, and then the clones with the sex dolls that you can sell individually to people. My actual likeness, which you have no contract for to sell my body as a clone. My throat, which you have a curse on where you're stealing my voice from me. You stole my thyroid. You put a bug in my head. And you want to tell me this is not the end of the world, and you need the sun's plasma to make new clones. The sun is not going to live forever. It's already in the word. It turns black spiritually and physically. Only way to the Father is through the Son. I believe that's the physical and spiritual aspect, or spiritual and physical aspect of the word. It's both. It's not just spiritual. The world is not just spiritual. spiritual and physical. And it's told from me from a former witch, my sis, that it's spiritual then physical. But because it doesn't happen in the spiritual doesn't mean I was thinking because it doesn't happen in the spiritual doesn't mean it doesn't happen in the physical. God uses any area and all things to work it out for our good. That's something I was given in this NFT world. Any area and all things to work out for the good of those who love him and call according to his purpose. He can use the enemy to bring about his kingdom on earth, which he has been doing. He has. He's been using the enemy to bring about his kingdom on earth. More people are starting to understand that this is the end of the world, basically. I don't know how much time we have left, but the truth is it's time to repent. It's time to ask for forgiveness and change our ways, trying to learn more about God if we want to live in his kingdom. Because the NFT world has collided with the real world and it's spiritual everywhere. It's spiritual to the aspect where they can do this in any part of the world. They don't need to be in an NFT simulator world inside of a world or a parallel dimension or a hidden city within a city or a state. One minute I'm in the actual Detroit, the next minute I'm in a simulated Detroit. It just depends on how far I walk and where I'm going. So the old police station downtown Detroit on Jefferson, right before you get to maybe a mile before you get to Belle Isle, I was walking down there and I stopped, and my president told me to go back in my mind's eye, and I went back. And they were testing to see where I was at. So one minute they couldn't find me, the next minute they did. I was in Detroit one minute, the next minute I wasn't. That was the portal. I walked through a portal. You don't need to be on a bus or on a motor vehicle or a bike or to walk through an actual portal. You can walk through a portal anywhere. Like I said, one minute I'm paying 12% sales tax. Next minute I'm back to paying 6. So I'm getting sleepy all of a sudden. They have not stopped putting semen on my body and back, and healing off me. I'm getting cold. It's tired. I don't want to go to sleep yet, and I'm kind of itchy. I keep washing my hair. It makes me feel better. It makes me wake up. I think I'm gonna wash it again probably, so I can wake up some. I don't know if I can show this on YouTube, but this is my skin with the soles, the wrinkles. The wrinkles can I don't know if you can see the wrinkles. No, you can't. But you can see the I don't know if I can show it. I'm gonna have to edit the sores. Can you see the sores on my skin from the soles attached to my body? It's under my stomach and around under my breast. I don't know if it's on my back because I can't see it or not. But when I die, my family dies. And hopefully I get to go back to heaven this time and wait. They keep trying to make me sick. I have nothing to negotiate with. I'm free though. And not physically, mentally. I'm free. Spiritually, I'm free. Physically, I've been kidnapped. Again. Excuse me. So, this is the NFT simulator that people are supposed to be able to live in. They even have criminals in here that are in prison, roaming around free. Mass murderers. I know one personally that was in here. I'm just saying. And who knows if he even stayed in this simulator. You have a block on him so he can't leave. If he knows he sees a portal, can he walk through it and get free and live in the regular world with everybody else? And because you lost, you had to put me back in an NFT simulator. You had to take me back illegally because you had the police kidnap me, the fake police of the NFT world, because I'm not a citizen here. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. And if this is the United States of America, some people need to be in jail, especially since we're not supposed to be cloned. Article 7 of the United Nations Security Council has been changed overnight. So I don't even think is that real. And when I read it before, it was 13 board members and not 15. Why, like I said, why is Russia and China on a board when they're not allies? I don't know if China's an ally, but I know we get our goods and services from there. And we were in a lot of debt to them. And I knew they would use that opportunity to try to take over the United States. The fact that the United States owes them so much money in credit card debt and loan money. I think about trade of thought, but that China but with the treaties and the agreements they have to hold to. My president set us up so we wouldn't have to fail. So we wouldn't have to come in agreement with allowing these things to take over our land. I like in the way you're showing him to me in my mind's eye. I like when he walked like that, and it's not what you think it is. It's more of a admiration type of love, and like a proud, like freedom. Let it ring. I was right. I'm the man. You know what? Give him his props. Give him his due. He saved you. And it wasn't just Obamacare. So they and then like I said, they're trying to blame everything on the Democrats as far as the border issue with the where did those people go? Where are their bodies? Where are the mothers and the children and the fathers that they separated? It's one thing about the Latinx community that I love. No matter how much money they have, you usually see them together. The mother, the father, and the kids, or the mother, the boyfriend, and the kids. And when you see them together walking down the street, you don't think anything other than that they're family. I mean, it's a large Latinx community because Texas used to be Mexico. In Texas, I have a huge respect for them for that reason. One of them, anyway. One. That's one reason. And we stayed in a poor part of Texas, but it was and some Latinx were prejudiced and some weren't. It's not the color of a man's skin, but the content of his character that you were judging by. And when they said Texas, Houston is one of the most diverse places in the world, it is. You have a lot of different ethnicities and ethnic groups there. I think Austin was the biggest one in Houston, in Texas. I mean. But I don't know much about Austin. I didn't. I only went there one time and it was okay. But um I um, I don't know what to talk about now. I guess that's it. Almost an hour in. Like I said, these are the NFT clones that they put me in after they murdered me in that hotel. Jim's he saw me. He know what he saw when he came in that room to see what the commotion was about. Derek saw me too. I was gone when Derek got there. My soul left. But before my soul actually projected and left the area, I heard Jim's voice. I heard Tamika's first, Jim's, and the women of the Be Strong Courageous Bible Study Group, who all working for Bitcoin come in agreement with my murder. So, but because it's trial by fire, and they didn't tell the world it was Bitcoin. You know, like I said, Derek has been investigating for a while, and they were wiping his memory as he went along, and he would tell me little clues and to keep his memory. The main clue he told me was he had a vasectomy, and so that meant no more babies the natural way. I don't think he knew yet that I already had a hysterectomy. And I don't think they're going to give me a clone with the uterus if I was to ever live through this and make it out of it anyway, with the real world still intact. Without an actual civil war or an erection of the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Because remember, last time he lost, the attack on the Capitol was real. Representative, I think it's a senator or representative. I hope I got it right. Crockett said that his own people were running for their lives because he was mad because they had the transition of power, and they had gas masks with them, so I guess they knew it was going to happen, and barricading themselves in the reminds me of Rahab, the story of Rahab, the prostitute who saved who was it? Was it Joshua and another spy from the tribe of Israel who were spying on the Canaanites, I believe. They were spying on them to see what their land looked like because God told them to go take the land, go possess the land, go conquer it. Because they were disobedient to God and they wouldn't listen to him. And Rahab was a prostitute in the land, so she didn't have much respect. But she was cunning and very how can I say it calculating, if you would think, and not even in a bad way though. In the sense where she told those spies, "I know your God, and I know Him to protect you," because they had already basically, in so many words. Let me see. They had already heard about the other land they had already started to conquer and take over, and everybody in the city was already afraid. Somebody just did something to my throat. Forgive me. How our God, talking to the spies from Israel, how our God protected them and is keeping them and giving them the land that God had promised them. And she hid the spies when her government came to check her house because she's a prostitute. So most people, I guess, would come near, would go look for the prostitute's house first. men anyway, single men or men who were adulterous and fornicators. So they went to her house. So I don't know if she called them in to keep them safe or what, but she protected them. She hid them from the soldiers that came looking and sent them soldiers in a different direction that she sent the spies from the Hebrew camp. Forgive me, the Hebrew camp. And when the soldiers left, she sent the two spies in a different direction. And they shimmied down the back wall, went, and then I guess at sunset they left the area. They came back by and left. And then they went and told I don't know if it was Joshua or Moses, because I don't think Moses was in the promised land yet. He never made it to the promised land, supposedly. That's what they tell us. I've really never read whether he made it or not anyway. I know he had 120 years, and that's all God gave us. So, anyways, I don't know if the spies were Joshua and they went back to Moses, or if the spies, I think it was Joshua that was told to me. But when I read it, I didn't read the Joshua was already, I think, running the whole, the head of the Hebrew tribes. I think he was already the head of them. And because Moses had passed away, and Aaron was the priest, and they had the Ark of the Covenant in them, God split the water of the Jordan for them to walk through like he did the Red Sea. That's what I read in my Quest Study Bible. I actually read that. So what he did for Moses, he did for Joshua too. And they took some stones from the area that they were walking through and made a memorial. So not a memorial, but a like a homage or some type of uh they took the stones and made I can't even think right now. I'm so tired because I didn't sleep last night at all. Not really. But anyways, they took the stones and made some type of memorial. And they and it's supposed to be still up to this day, which I'm not sure if it is, but that's what the word says. And probably not. But they what used it as their camp when they came from out of the river Jordan. They at their campground, and they had the Ark of the Covenant, which was the Ten Commandments physically, stones, and the priests, the Levites carried those, and the people crossed, and that was in my Quest Study Bible. I can't remember how it. I know that they won 7 days around. It was Jericho, and so for her obedience and her love of God and how she reverenced their God, I think it was Joshua who told her basically like what to do when we come back to conquer the city. He told her, keep you and your family in your home. Do not come out. And they put a red flag on a rope in her window, signifying that they were not going to attack her. If your flag wasn't in your window, we cannot help you. We don't know. So I guess they told the whole tribe that if there's a red flag on a rope, do not go in there and kill them. Because God told them to conquer the land, kill everybody in the land, and burn everything that they have. Take nothing with you. And before they went. I think that was them. It might have been AI where he told them that too. But anyways, so she left that flag up there, and they left, and not Roman, but the soldiers came back because they know that the men were in her house. They seen the neighbor told the soldiers that the spies were in her house, and they were already scared of the children of they were the tribe of the Hebrew children. They were already afraid of them because they had already been conquering the land in the area, other tribes and nations that God told Joshua to conquer. Because they were disobedient and wouldn't listen to his children. Plus, when I think about Moses later on, they still had conflict with them. I guess, I don't in other areas with other people who didn't different tribes and things like that who would come up against them. I read more. That was more into Samuel, I think. That was like right before I think David. Let me think. I'm blinking, so I won't get timeline right. But anyways, Joshua, like I said, had conquered over 31 nations when I read the book of Joshua, and he gave territory and land to all the 12 tribes, 13 tribes, and all 13 tribes and their clans, the sub tribes inside the actual 13 tribes. It's now 12 because one of the tribes had been wiped off the face of the earth all completely. Supposedly it was Gad who had been wiped out because it was, I guess, still close to Egypt. Gad, I think, was the closest tribe to Egypt. But the word never really specified why. Now it may have specified, but I didn't read it, and it wasn't in Joshua. It wasn't in Joshua, and I didn't read what happened to Gad. I just know it was wiped off the face of the earth. So now it's 12 tribes. Because Jacob had 12 sons, but Joseph had 2 sons. And when they reconnected, Jacob blessed Joseph 2 sons and gave them territory and land in a sense where, not territory land, but gave them their birthright, I guess. I don't know how to explain how the 12 tribes became tribes of the sons, I guess families. And Joseph, because Joseph, I guess, was considered an Egypt, I'm guessing now, Egyptian, because his position in the Egyptian kingdom as the right-hand man to Pharaoh. So Joseph is not a tribe. And I read that in one of my books, one of my Bibles. So they had been, like I said, they had still been messing up the word. I'm going to pause it and find it. So for some reason, I can't find it right now, but I know when I read it before, it said Joseph. And Joseph was not given a tribal name because he ran the Egyptian empire at the time, the whole kingdom, and they were there. His family came and lived there with him after he forgave them and stuff, and because of the famine in their land. And that's how the Hebrew children through the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob became slaves in Egypt because they became too numerous, and I guess the king, probably being spiritually attacked, or the new king, felt like they would overthrow the Egyptian empire. So he enslaved them. Plus, their God probably might have handed them over too. I'm not sure, but it don't say that, so I ain't gonna go there. But they were starting to. I think that's because they were enslaved. Practice once they became enslaved, I think they started practicing the practices of the Egyptians too. So, but anyways, I got both of my Bibles here, so I can't. I'm so sleepy because I didn't go to sleep last night that I can't even find it right now. So, but I was talking about Joseph, right, and how he Joseph and how he conquered 31 nations and how he got the land for God's children, Jerusalem and all like that. He was tricked by the Gibeonites, though. He was tricked by the Gibeonites, who I believe turned out to be the Pharisees and the Sadducees. But I have no real proof of that, so it's speculation. So I hope you have a beautiful night. I'm an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm so tired right now. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go to sleep though, so I think I'm just gonna stay up and worship. Maybe do another recording if God wants me to. I love you guys, and please have a blessed evening. Stay filled, sealed, signed, and delivered.